Hi, this is the fellow passenger. In this video, we're going to take a look at the TFP Shift register, which is a Max for Live sequencer that I've developed. It is very inspired by the Turing Machine that you can find for Eurorack format. To use this, you will place it on a MIDI channel along with an instrument of your choice. I've just taken the operator in this case, and to hear it, you just press play and you will hear the initial sequence. You can see these red bars shifting along to the left. And when they reach the end, if it is red, it will play a note. If it's not red, it will not play a note. Each red bar will have a particular note associated with it. At the moment, it's playing a 16-step default sequence. To change the sequence, you can use this dial here saying chance. So when a red bar passes through there, it will then roll the dice to decide, is that particular step going to change? If chance is set to 0, it will not change, it will be locked in, it will stay the same, it will come in again on the right-hand side, and you will have this looping sequence. But if you turn chance up, let's turn it up to max, which means that every time it gets to the end, it will roll the dice and decide that, yes, it's always going to change. And it will just, at the moment, the bias is set to 50%. So there's a 50-50 chance whether the note will be on or off. And it will also pick a new note based on down here. The new note will have a pitch range. The default is between C2 and C3. You can change that. The same with the note length and also the velocity. There are some default values there that you can change. So actually, let's create some changes here. So we have a much greater velocity range here. We can also have some note length variety. And then we set 100% chance, and there's a 50-50 whether the new note is going to be on or off. You can hear that sounds pretty random. And just like with the Turing machine, it can be a good idea to pair this with a quantizer. So the quantizer in Ableton is called scale. So we can pick a scale here. Let's just take a simple minor scale. That means that we're going to get something that's going to sound a bit more coherent and melodic. Let's just push that down a bit so we get some lower notes. With the chance set to high and this set to 50-50, the sequence is just going to keep generating and you will get something random all the time. Let's say that we want to fill this shift register and we just want to have all the notes to be on. Then we set bias to 100%. Again, this is now just creating an infinite randomized sequence. But let's change the steps. You can up to 64 steps, or you can, 2 is the minimum. So let's set this to 8 steps, then that's going to be quite easy to see. To say that 8 there, and then we set the bias to 50% so we don't get just random notes. And we want to fill this sequence with new data. And you saw when I turned the chance down to 0, we lock that sequence in. So if we find something that we like, we can now repeat that. And you can obviously set the chance somewhere in between, which will allow you to have the sequence. If we set it quite low, we will stick to the same sequence, but occasionally it will introduce a new note. So you can get these drifting sequences that can have some consistency, but slowly move into something new. Let's move this up a bit because 8 notes is not very... And then you can use the bias here to, if you want to really sparse sequence, you set that to quite low. Maybe you want a sparse sequence, but with really long notes in it. I think you get the idea. And then you also have clock divisions if you want to run this to run in a different speed. We can slow it down a bit. I think this can be quite an interesting instrument to use live, where you can dial the intensity of a melody in, and if you just stumble upon a melody you like, you just turn the chance down and you lock it to that looping sequence, and then when you get bored of it, you can just turn the chance up to either slowly drift to a new sequence that you like and lock it, or you just set it to max and it will just generate an entirely new sequence as it plays out. I think that's... Well, there's actually one more thing I would like to say. With Eurorack, you don't necessarily want to use this to generate melodies. You want to use it to control other things using control voltage. And that is very easy to do with this one as well. You just pair it with an expression control. So if we take that and let's set that to remote. You don't have to set it to remote, but I just prefer it that way. And you set it to... key track. So now we can use this data to map it to other things. So we can have this sequence. Let's say we can change the level of the third operator or something. I think you get the idea. All right, I think that's enough for this. Please check the link in the description if you're interested in this device. It's available through my Patreon, which is a very low cost for you, and you only commit to a month at a time. I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you very much. Bye.